Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Dragonheir SilentGods video. In today's video, I want to show you the team that I'm using to farm Grave of Rot Stage 9 as my speed farm. In the sense of like, this is the fastest team that I could find out there in order to actually beat the Grave of Rot 9. And honestly, I think I was a little bit wrong when I was talking in the past about which one is the hardest dungeon to fight. I was always thinking that the hardest one was the Ancient Battlefield. Well, from what I've done so far, it kind of looks to me like the Grave of Rot is actually a lot harder because it has some weird mechanics, it has some annoying ones where you need cleansing, you need attack down, you need heal reduction, so you need a lot of things in there. But I managed to find a team that at the same time is pretty funny. I'm only using one legendary in Sagomir, but I'm quite sure I could replace Sagomir with somebody else. Doesn't really have to be him, just somebody else that maybe brings you attack penalty that can be a little bit tanky, because the way this dungeon works is all about the way the boss does the skill. So the first one that he always does is the AoE hit. That's like, full board, doesn't matter where you have your people. He deals poison damage, he inflicts heal prohibition, and then puts 5 stacks of poison for 30 seconds. That's a long duration, okay? But this one is kind of like, this is the one that you definitely want to cleanse. Then if you move over to his next skill, the Rotting Assault, this one deals again poison damage to enemies and inflicts recharge speed penalty. This one can be tricky because at the end of the day, if this lands, you're not going to be able to sync your team. The tune will fall out of sync as they're going to take a lot longer to come back to their ultimate skills, and it's pretty hard to come back from that. Then the ultimate, he devours one champion, chews them up for 4 seconds, dealing poison damage equal to, and restores HP equal to 600% of the damage dealt. So basically what you need for this part, you definitely need to have an heal reduction and maybe even an attack penalty to land there. And what better one's gonna be than Sigrid. So the whole recharge time of the boss is 6 seconds, 12, 18. So you kind of need people that can come to a 18-second rotation, okay? That's really important. Also, every basic attack has a chance to land a poison. So the team that I'm using over here is Sagomir, like I mentioned. He's the one that has the Witch's Remains for me, which is the defense penalty. And the reason why I like him for this one is because he does 2 hits, and obviously on both of those hits, he has a chance to land the Witch's Remains. So it's a little bit higher than 60% because it can happen on each hit. Keep that in mind. If you're using Witch's Remains, this one can activate on however many hits the user has on the ultimate, but it has to be on their ultimate, okay? So if you have somebody that has 5 hits, use that one if they can survive to use that one. Then I have Fitz. Funny enough, still Fitz the red is amazing for this team because he brings me the cleanse that I need, okay? From his ultimate, he transfers all debuffs to himself, basically cleanses everybody else, and I built him with high resist so he does not get those ones. Then I have Garius in here as my designated healer. He will always go at 0.5 seconds after Fitz. So after Fitz does the cleanse, he comes with his ultimate and he does the healing. He's also built with resist, and he's also the one that's tanking the hits from the boss, and he's the one that's devoured. Then for DPS, I had my best one that I noticed so far is Nimbus, because he can do some pretty crazy damage overall, and he's just straight up built with damage, no resist, no accuracy, nothing else, just as much damage as I could pump out of him. And then I have Sigrid, which I built for damage, but at the same time, she's in here for the heal prohibition and the attack penalty. So this one works pretty fine, and the thing that you need to keep in mind is you need to get past this one. You need to be able to take the first hit without attack penalty. If you don't, then you might just have to increase your DPS people's survivability. Give them more defense, more HP, whatever you need in order to be able to take that first hit. Because for the first hit, you're not gonna have attack penalty. But then when he comes to the second one, because of how I have the timings, the boss still has the attack penalty from Sigrid after she did her ultimate, so we're fine. And then when he comes to this one, he's always gonna target people at the front, because the second one, the Rotting Assault, he will always cast wherever he can hit more people. So because I have 3 people on the front line, he's always gonna throw it over here and not towards the back. So your DPS, your ranged DPS should be safe. And as you can see, it just goes pretty well. It's all about how much damage I can squeeze out of the ones at the back. If you have somebody else that's, I don't know, maybe he's a defense-based damage dealer that brings attack penalty, you can use those ones instead of Sagomir because, well, my Sagomir does some damage as well. As you can see over here, nothing too crazy, but it's pretty respectable damage. Because the fun thing about Sagomir is his damage scales off of attack, but also off of max HP. So I just built him with a ton of max HP, and he just does his, his skills pretty well. He can take some of the hits, so we're just doing pretty fine, as you can see, and it moves pretty fast. Like 2 minutes, I'm pretty happy. I'm quite sure there's people out there, maybe they have like, strong enough characters that they're gonna just smash the boss in maybe 1 minute, but so far, like I said, for me, this is the best that I can do. And as you can see, the timing falls off, just falls perfectly, works pretty fast, and it's all gonna come down to the presets again, because you want all your skills to go at the right time. So as we see, boom, the boss is down, and we did it in 1 minute and 54 seconds. So again, around 2 minutes, around the 2 minutes, pretty fast. I'm pretty happy with the result. Now let's have a look at the skill timing, the preset itself. So the only people, like you only need 3 people, you only need these 3 people to have the timings like this. So first one is Sigrid. You want her to do the first ultimate at 17.5, then everything every 18 seconds is gonna be the same thing. Skill casting interval, 18 seconds for the 3 people that you need to use it at. Then Fitz, he's gonna do the first skill as fast as he can, which is gonna obviously be as soon as the boss does the poisons and heal prohibition and that's gonna be at 11 seconds for the first charge. And then Garius comes at 0.5 seconds, like I mentioned, straight after, and then again every 18 seconds, so that after Fitz cleanses everybody, removes their heal prohibition, Garius can just fully heal everyone. So this is what you have to do, but you also need to keep in mind that you need certain builds, because you want to have your ultimate skills be at 18 seconds or lower in order for you to be able to do this one. And it might not be as easy, but you know what? It's speed farm, it's endgame, it's not supposed to be as easy, but still it's pretty obtainable. So in order to do that, you will need around 55 skill haste on your people that have their ultimate recharge time to be the complete recharge time at 20. So for example, you see Garius has 17.88 because he has 59 skill haste. So he's just built with resistance and then defense as much as I could give him, so that his heals will do much, bigger heals. I honestly just put the mask because it gives me the most defense percent. That's the only reason. Then the next one, let's have a look at Sagomir. Sagomir is in the Brotherhood spirit, so whenever he does his ultimate, it gives us that attack boost. So this is gonna help us do more damage. He's built with HP percent, crit rate. He's even built to do some damage again. Accuracy, crit rate, crit damage, HP percent, witches remains. Then HP on this one, and then again accuracy on this one. You need around 220 accuracy. Like, I could lower this one maybe to give him more damage, because we still have the 3-element affinity from Sagomir, and we gain extra accuracy, extra resist, extra attack, so we gain some extra damage in there from having the 3-element affinity. But it's only Sagomir, Garius, and Nimbus that gain the bonus. Keep that in mind. Everybody that's off affinity, like we have Sigrid and Fitz, they're not gonna get the bonus, the benefit from this one. So keep that in mind. But yeah, Sagomir, like I said, just in there for his debuffs and for the damage. Then Sigrid, again, I built Sigrid with as much damage as I could with having 220 accuracy, but I did not give her over 55 skill haste. As you can see, her complete recharge is 19.2 seconds, but I gave her the spiritual incense burner instead, because this one, every time she uses the ultimate, she gains more ultimate energy, so it comes back at the right time. If you don't have this one, just try to get, like I said, to that 55 skill haste and you should be good. And again, she's built with damage, attack, crit rate, more attack, more attack. I just gave her some defense pieces because she was getting one shot, okay? She was getting one shot, so I had to have a little bit of defense in my gear, because you have to take the first hit. After that, you should be just fine. Then the next one in here is going to be, let me show you Nimbus. Did I? I don't think I showed you Nimbus. Nimbus is straight up damage with crit damage. Again, I put defense on the negative rune because he was getting one shot, so had to make him tanky. But apart from that, attack percent, crit damage with crit rate, more crit rate, crit damage, attack, and the usual stuff. Plus I gave him the music box because I wanted that extra crit rate. Not necessarily because of this one, because there's nobody that puts a shield in this team, but because I needed extra 30 crit rate, so I get as close to 100% crit rate as possible. And then the last one, I think the last one that I didn't show was Fitz. Well, Fitz is pretty simple. Just give him enough resist. I think it's around 300 or more resist that you need. And then just give him, survivability, because he's not going to do much damage. So defense over here, resistance on this one, resistance on this one, HP percent, and then, you know, more resist and more survivability stats. Basically, like I said, you want the resistance, but you also want to have that 55 skill haste so that he's at the 18-second mark. You know, and again, I just threw this banner on him. I could put a different one, but he's not going to be doing too much damage. So this is my Grave of Rot team speed farm. I guess if you can call it 2 minutes team a speed farm. The maximum time you can do is like 5 minutes and 30 seconds, 6 minutes. So compared to the previous video where I showed you the free-to-play team with like 3 epics, 3 rares and 2 epics, this one's definitely better because it's a 2-minute team. The time using myself, and honestly, people like Nimbus and Sigrid, they're going to be in the same build for every other content in the game. So hopefully this helps you. Hopefully this gives you an idea of how you can build your Grave of Rot team to be able to do stage 9 and, you know, speed format. Like I said, the people are non-mandatory that I showed you in the team. Nimbus can be anybody else as a DPS. Sagomir can be anybody else that's you know, brings you some attack penalty, maybe some damage, but has to be tanky on the front line. Garius can be any other healer, but you know, you might need to have somebody that does full board heal. And then, you know what, Fitz, everybody should have a Fitz, and he's worth building because he's a pretty good rare tank. And yeah, I'm getting close to finishing this one. We still got 2 days and 10 hours to finish the Shadow Dungeon. If you started obviously on day 1, on the 19th of September, this should be the same as mine. If not, once you're gonna get to that point, hopefully this is gonna help you. But anyway, this is gonna be it for the video today, guys. As always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.